Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Of the Riverfront, also actor, director, and producer, but I kind of guess that I thought that all went
actor, director, producer.
Yeah,
okay.
As well as all of those.
Oh,
things.
that's on the list too. I like it.
and toilet cleaner.
Oh, I love it. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:01 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Thursday, the 7th of July. It's a nice day outside.
It is.
Really nice. Sun is out. It's nice and warm. It's not overbearing or super hot.
No.
I was standing in the shade, so I can only attest for my little, 80 feet under the tree where I was at. But I hope that everybody is doing good today. We've got some news for you. We got the headlines that you need. I've got 29 Fox Valley high schoolers granting $25,000 to separate nonprofits. We also have a very cool guest today. Board member of Riverfront Playhouse, actor, producer, director, unofficial historian.
Yes.
Right? All of those cool
all
titles.
All of those things.
Our guest today is Sherry Winchester Schultz. How are you?
I'm good, Curtis. How are you?
I'm all right. Glad to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for asking me.
So Riverfront Playhouse has been in the Aurora landscape here, well known for many years.
Well, I don't know about well known. We always prided ourselves in being Aurora's best kept secret.
Aurora's best kept secret. That's a way better title. I like that. I like that way more than being well known. How did it start? What's the beginnings of Riverfront?
1978. There were a group of people who wanted to put on plays, and so they found a little spot.
Okay.
Actually, what was going to be Mora's restaurant. Was originally Brewberries Inn.
Brewberries
Inn, yeah.
Wow.
It was a little tavern, and on the side they had like a dining room that was not frequently used. So they allowed the Riverfront to put on a show there. There was no dressing room. The dressing room was out on the mall, and so they'd hold up a blanket so people could change clothes and run back in and do the next scene. And then after the first show, we moved into the spot that we're at right now. So we've been here since 1978.
All right.
Yeah.
Now that's the Mora building has ended. Is that because where you guys are at? Because you said it's in the Mora building, but that's the same side, kind of.
Yeah, the configuration of that building is really kind of screwy. So it's conjoining to City Hall.
Right.
But it's actually like 3 buildings.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because when you're, from kind of outside looking in perspective, when you're going through the little mall back there, you don't know where the building ends or begins. It's
right,
like the next thing you know, it's just somebody's office.
Exactly. Yeah, so we have 2 doors. One door is the lobby and the other door is to the theater.
Okay.
And that wasn't always the same either. It was we used to just have the theater side, and then we built enough equity in ourselves, so we were able to rent out the other side, and now we've got 2 spaces.
Okay. So from 1978 to today, congratulations. That's awesome.
It is
awesome.
for a theater that is strictly run on ticket sales and donations.
Yeah.
We are a 501c3, but that was just probably within the last 15 years that we got that designation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's actually a very uplifting story to know that people who wanted to produce things took it upon themselves to just create what is now something that exists and has produced a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
What a story.
Yeah. Dave Morris was pretty much the founding father. There were other people that worked on it with him, but Dave stayed with it for many years. He was there when I first started. I've been there since 1982.
Okay.
Which is crazy because I'm only 27.
I like that. All right, Tracy Hodges is here. Hello, Aurora. Good morning to you. Judge Renee Cruz. Good morning, GMA. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Hey. Victoria Hyla Maldonado. Good morning to you. Victoria says it's a fun little theater. Seen a few shows there.
Awesome. Thanks.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And Maria Vasquez, good morning to you as well. Happy Thursday to you. Okay, so what are some of the shows that have been there? Any fan favorites? Now we talked before coming in. A friend of mine, dear friend by the name of Charlie, said, "Hey, be sure to ask him."
Yeah. So my late husband Jack Schultz was a playwright.
Okay.
He wrote 12 plays, and one of them, the first one that he wrote, was a musical comedy called Fat Bill's Roadside Cafe.
Okay.
And it was the first play he had written. It was a country western musical comedy. He didn't even like country western music, but 3 chords. All the songs were 3 chords, so he thought, how hard can it be?
Yeah, I got this. Bang, 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 bang.
And he wrote some hilarious characters and jokes that you could see getting in the cab and driving down the street.
Sure.
And the audience just were hooked. And it was an amazing show. We made $10,000 with that show. We had to keep extending it because the houses were sold out. And I mean, to us at that time, that was actually how we were able to afford getting into that next space, to get the lobby, to have bathrooms. We didn't even have bathrooms. We had a bathroom in the basement for the actors, but nothing for the audience.
Sure, right. Wow.
So, yeah, and that was in 1987.
Wow.
1987. So the audiences were like, when are you going to bring that back? When are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? So it prompted him to write sort of like a sequel, like a second installment.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people came and saw that and loved it, but they're like, yeah, but what about that one song, with the rubber song?
The rubber song?
The
Okay.
rubber song. Yeah. So then he took the best parts of the first one, best parts of the second one, wrote some new stuff, and turned it into a third one. And then about every 2 years, he would write a new installment with the same characters, bring in some other characters,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the actors would come back and do the show again. And we would sell out. They knew that it was the only place that they could see it was at the Riverfront Playhouse.
So it's the staple of the Riverfront Playhouse, it could be said.
One of them.
One of them, okay.
One of the other staples of the Riverfront is another show that Jack wrote. It's a musical adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
And this will be our 28th year of performing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
28 years.
28 years. We do it the 2 weekends before Christmas. Friday and Saturday nights, and then Sundays in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah. And that one sells out too. 28 years. Yeah. The first year we did it, my kids were too little to be in it.
Really?
And then, the second year, and they've been in it every year since then.
Grew up in the theater.
Yes.
I like that.
Born in a trunk.
I like. The time is 8:09 a.m. If you are just joining us, good morning to all of you great people like Ben Geller. Ben Geller says, I am on Curtis Pay No Mind list. Haha, Leo and I were the first hellos today. Hello, Ben Geller. Good to see you, my dear brother. Ben is a dear friend of the show. He and Josie Mendoza Geller are great friends of ours, and we appreciate them and all of our great listeners very, very much. Okay, so Riverfront Playhouse, that name comes just from being next to the...
Right on the river.
Right on the riverfront.
Right. And sometimes in the river. When it floods, and we've had 6 major floods in the basement, the river actually comes in through our windows. We've had fish in the basement.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. But the first time that happened, we actually had Fat Bill's running, and one of the versions of it, and we couldn't go in the basement. Fortunately, our costumes were like above the water line, and
thank
it was
goodness.
so it was pretty crazy.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Chicago, but raised here in Aurora.
Okay, all right. What's the Aurora of then and the Aurora of now? What are some of the great changes that you've seen And then
I
till now.
love the artistic movement that is happening in Aurora right now.
Okay.
Whether it's musical or painting, the visual arts, and the Riverfront fits right in with all of that. We've been here since, like I said, 1978,
Right.
and holding down the fort. And it's so exciting to see so much vibrancy. First Fridays and restaurants, and it's really really cool.
Where you guys are at, that wasn't always the artistically themed environment that it is now.
Oh heavens, no! Like, we were just in the little alley when we started.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. At first, they just blocked off the street, and then they bricked it up, and now they've really made it beautiful. It's gorgeous. The plantings are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, if all you do is walk around downtown Aurora, you'll see some pretty amazing things.
Yeah. I like going through there where City Hall is and everything. Yeah. I like the flowers and all that stuff when they plant them there. So that is awesome.
It's beautiful.
Have you guys had any famous people come by the Playhouse?
We have, as a matter of fact, and he'll be back on stage this fall. His name is Philip Edward Van Leer.
Philip Edward Van Leer. Okay,
yes.
Let us know about Philip Edward. Who is that?
Well, Phil has been in numerous things, a lot of the barbershop movies, Prison Break. He was a regular on Prison Break, the TV show, a couple other TV shows. And he actually resides here in Aurora with his family. Last Christmas, for Christmas Carol, we actually had to put him up on stage in the part of Bob Cratchit. His children were playing Cratchit children.
Bob Cratchit. He was the worker.
Right.
Right? Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
under Ebenezer Scrooge's thumb, right? And so I play Mrs. Cratchit and have since we since we started. Yeah, I'm probably a little old in the tooth. But so Bob Cratchit had to bow out and due to COVID. And Phil stepped in with no rehearsal, and Phil is blind.
He's blind?
He's blind now. Yeah, he's legally blind. And but he had rehearsed the scenes with his kids.
Yeah.
So that they could learn their lines, and he learned the scenes well enough, and he came on stage. But yeah, Phil and I have done shows way back at the Riverfront. Phil, I'm trying to think. I don't remember what year it was. We did the Green Goddess.
The Green Goddess?
The Green Goddess. That was a good one. Phil was in Fat Bill's Roadside Cafe. Actually, he was the original rubber salesman who sang the rubber song.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, so Phil will be on our stage again this fall in between Riverside and Crazy. And that show will open the weekend after Labor Day.
Philip Edward Van Leer. Shouts out to him.
Yes.
Shouts out to him.
Phil's son Brandon, who's also done several shows at the Riverfront, will be in the play with him.
Okay.
So yeah, his adult son. Mm-hmm.
Our friend Dan Barrero says, thanks, Sherry, for your dedication and passion.
Oh,
awesome.
Thank you.
Aisha Saxon is here. Good morning to you, Aisha Saxon. Jen Ingram. Good morning to you, Jen. Okay. Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, I have a couple of local news headlines for these great people. And not only that, we have a button for it, too. Fat Bill's Roadside Cafe, but we do what we can on this show. All right, August 10th, ladies and gentlemen, at Bliss Creek Golf Course, Golf View Lane in Sugar Grove will be the 15th annual Golf Classic. The Fox Valley Marine Corps presents. Fox Valley Marine Corps League, excuse me. Deadline for registration is the 15th of this month. Now, the day is going to be let me tell you what's going to happen. Registration will be at 10:30 a.m. There'll be lunch, warm up at driving range, and then free bucket of balls. 11:45 a.m. golfers are escorted to the holes. Noon is the cannon start, and 5 p.m. steak dinner, awards and raffles.
Their steak dinners are awesome.
Really? Oh
yeah, I've done golf outings there. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this is going to be very special because all proceeds designated by the Fox Valley Marine Corps League for veterans and their families. Now, who's taking part? Marie Wilkinson, Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry, Between Friends Food Pantry of Sugar Grove, and Loaves and Fishes Community Services. Absolutely wonderful stuff. So, Shannon Cameron, Executive Director, Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry, shouts out so many great people. Marilyn Weisner, so many great people. Kathy Farrell, Diane Renner, friend of the show. I mean, this is just going to be absolutely fantastic. So get ready for that. August 10th is the date for that. Okay, now listen to this. I got another. Tens are the days this year. A lot of good things are happening on days that are tens. Here's something else happening on a good 10 day. Where's this article? Okay, here it is. Saturday, September 10th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be the Kids Expo. This is presented by State Representative Stephanie Kifowit. This will be at Phillips Park Family Aquatic Center, 828 Montgomery Road. Fire trucks, police cars, medevac, and much, much more. Rain or shine for this great event. 630-585-1308 is the number you need. That number again is 630-585-1308. All right. And then not a 10 day, but
but still good nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still nonetheless, exactly. The Aurora Puerto Rican Cultural Council has their flag raising festival. The ceremony is going to be the 23rd at 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at Aurora Plaza, 8 East Galena Boulevard. That's right across from Paramount Theater. And then Sunday, July 31st, Water Street Square is the festival actually going on. So this is their 50th anniversary, celebrating 50 years of Puerto Rican heritage in Aurora. Wow, good stuff. Okay. The time is 8:17 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Michael Rayford's here. Good morning. And Karina Suarez Darden. Okay, so tell me, how did you become an actor? What is your background?
Oh, well, I've been acting since third grade.
Wow.
I know.
Aren't all kids at that age actors?
I know. Well, this one was. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I just always seem to need to be on.
Okay.
Yeah. And so just always looked for opportunities to act and perform. And
okay.
Yeah.
And did you after school any training after that? Did you go through theater classes?
I did. I actually studied at the Steppenwolf. There was a short time when they were doing seminars and classes, workshops, and that. So yeah.
For those unfamiliar, what is the Steppenwolf?
The Steppenwolf is a tremendous theater in Chicago on Halstead.
Okay.
And many great actors, including like Gary Sinise and John Malkovich, all came out of Steppenwolf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gary Sinise, ladies and gentlemen, if you are trying to figure out who that is, that he was Lieutenant Dan.
He was Lieutenant Dan.
In Forrest Gump, amongst other roles.
Many other roles.
Amongst other roles. Great actor.
Yeah. Lots of great talent.
Are great actors born or are they made?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it's a little of both.
Okay.
I think it's a little of both. There are some people who just have tremendous talent. It's just very organic, and others train for it, pull it up. It's so. What I love about the Riverfront, why I've stayed there so long, many reasons, but to be able to work with people who are at various stages of their craft. And we've got people who haven't done a show since they were in high school.
Right.
We've got people who have never been in a play but have always wanted to be in a play, and we've got people like me who just seem to continually do something somewhere. And so to be able to work with people and help them build their craft. Something we're doing right now. My daughter Heidi, who you spoke to, Heidi Schultz, she's working on a director's workshop right now.
Okay.
So we've got, this is the first time we've done the director's workshop, and we have 6 people signed up for it, people who either have been actors and want to direct now, people who haven't done either one, who've just been sitting on the sidelines. We have one woman who was just a member of the audience and heard about the program, and she's like, I want to see what it takes, what goes into putting on a play.
Right.
So for the 2 weeks they're learning best practices on directing in a small theater. And most of those practices will apply to other things that you want to direct. There were auditions last night and tonight at 7 at the Riverfront. If you'd like to audition to be directed by one of these new directors. And the plays that they're going to be performing are actually written by local playwrights.
Wow.
So yeah, they're just small plays. It's not 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long. Mm-hmm. So sort of a one act play. And those performances will be August 5th through the 7th.
August 5th through 7th. Okay.
5th through 7th. So you'll get to see the works of local playwrights and local directors and local actors down at the Riverfront Playhouse. So that coincides with First Fridays.
Okay.
And then the Saturday, and we'll actually do a Sunday performance too.
Okay. I'm curious. So you said a mixture of both. If actors are born, great actors are born, or if they're made. What are some of the are there must-do elements, for example? Are there just like
must-do elements?
Like, the rule of acting. Are there rules of it?
There are plenty of rules. Okay. But you really need to be self-aware, and you also need to be able to listen to your director. I mean, there are some directors that maybe you don't need to listen. Well, no, I should say that. There are talented directors and there are more talented directors.
Okay.
Just as there are talented actors and there are more talented actors. And sometimes, you just, an actor and director really click, like they speak each other's language, the nuances and that. I mean, you see it like even Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. They work together so often because they get each other. Right. They know what they're going to get out of one another.
Mm-hmm. Now you're a director.
I am.
What is your style? What do you demand from an actor?
I am very organic. That was one of the things we had a guest panel last week of different directors, and Heidi did a good job of putting together directors who have different styles. And so we were asked a series of questions, and then the participants were able to ask questions too. But everybody's got a different style of directing, and for me, it's more organic. I like to see what the actors are going to bring to the part and let them discover, because as an actor myself, I like the discoveries. That's one of the reasons why I do it. Discoveries. So you get a script and you're reading the script, and there are certain things you get on the first couple of pass-throughs. And then once you get it up on its legs, literally, on the stage, and you're rehearsing with your fellow actors, and they're starting to bring different nuances and different actions and reactions to what you're doing, and now you're really creating something that's unique, because each actor is going to play the part a little differently. We saw that with the show that we just did at the Riverfront, Tally's Folly.
Interesting.
People want you. So we did a 2-person play called Tally's Folly that just closed, and due to COVID, we needed to have understudies just in case. It was a husband and wife that were playing the parts, and should one or both of them get COVID, we needed somebody to step into the part. Otherwise, we'd have to just shut down. And the only source of income for the Riverfront is the ticket sales that come in.
Right.
So since they understudied, they really should be given a chance to perform. So they performed on a Saturday night, and it was interesting to see the differences in the way that the two couples played their roles. They brought different nuances out of the characters.
Right.
Yeah. It was for those people who had the opportunity to see both sets of actors play the parts, I think they enjoyed that. I mean, I did as an audience member and a producer of the show.
Now, so the shows at River Edge, are they all, as you said, like just shorter plays?
No,
they're
full-length plays.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So typically a play will run 90 minutes to, well, Christmas Carol sometimes is 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel that way.
Right. Yeah, it never feels like that.
Yeah,
yep,
when you're
like,
sucked
wow.
into it and you're really on the edge of your seat. Yeah. And it's entertaining. So yeah, we mostly do full-length shows. We try to do things that are kind of off the beaten path too, you know. So not doing what everybody else is doing.
What do you mean?
Well, I know that many years ago, like everybody was doing Neil Simon, or everybody was doing whatever the play was, and we didn't want to do what everybody was doing.
Okay.
There was a play that was going around A.R. Gurney called Sylvia, which is it's about a man finding a dog out in the park and then bringing the dog home, and then how this dog, like, he just got so attached to this female dog and his wife was jealous, and but there's a person playing the dog, but they don't play it like I'm a dog. They play it like a person. And so we found the script and like, this is awesome, we should do this show. So we did it, and people came and saw it, and all of a sudden everybody was doing Sylvia.
Okay.
Because it was that great of a play,
right?
You know, and it was really enjoyable, and people,
right? Yeah,
people like it. So, but again, as an audience member, like, I would want to go and see everybody's different version of it to see, you know, what did they bring out in it? Oh, well, I never noticed that in the other show.
Right.
Yeah.
For the people who do have or have had some type of experience with, like, for example, you mentioned, like, hey, somebody had been in a play in high school, been out of it for a while. Now they're coming back and trying to get their feet wet with it. Do they bring any old habits which are no longer conducive to theater, or are those people somewhat easier to work with as opposed to the novice? Or is it vice versa? Is the novice more open to thinking? Because we have a saying, you know, there is that saying that, like, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh, no, in theater you can.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. As I told you, I didn't know none of the streaming. What is that?
Yeah.
So
But the person has to be open to it. I mean, I've had people who had their MFAs but didn't understand what upstage and downstage meant.
What's an MFA?
Master of Fine Arts. So it's a high theater degree.
Right.
But the basics that I would teach children in our children's theater would be upstage and downstage. So upstage is closer to the curtain and downstage is closer to the audience. And that's like something you learn day 3, you know, after stage left and stage right.
Okay.
Yeah. So cheating out, which is something that you would learn on camera also.
What
cheating
is that?
out would be like this, so that you can, like, see my full face, or at least 3/4 of my face instead of always my profile.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
I call that cheating out. Because you're cheating out.
Sherry Winchester Schultz, teach your brother now. Teach your brother. Man, this is cool. Okay, keep going.
So yeah, the Master of Fine Arts degree had never heard the term cheat out.
Wow.
Yeah, and so because you upstage yourself, so this is me upstaging myself, because now they see more of my shoulder and my ear than they do of my face.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's why you have this chair this way.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
So we're cheating out to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of ready, right?
You were?
Yeah. See, exactly.
Yeah. See,
I was like, I can't have him just showing the side of the face.
Right. You knew, but because you knew how it looks.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's what the role of the director is, to tell you how it looks from the audience, because we don't always have that third eye where you can see what the audience sees, you know, what your audience sees, any audience.
Right. What's the strength of when a person, I'm trying to remember this, when a person is on stage and they're talking to somebody, isn't there a philosophy of a person's right or their left, or when you're speaking right and speaking left? And if I'm massacring this, I apologize. But I was under the impression, I believe I read it, that there is an emotional projection of talking to the right.
I never read
and
that.
The left. No, okay. All right.
No,
I watched a lot of TED Talks.
Oh.
This guy was an FBI guy, so maybe this is the wrong person. It's an interrogation. It's not a Riverfront Playhouse.
No. the more important thing is that you cheat so that the audience can see. So one of the other hats that I wear, I'm a wedding officiant and I marry people. So when,
you are just the most interesting guest. This is the coolest.
So when I'm positioning my bride and groom, I'm always telling them, okay, so take your foot that's closest to me and move it ahead of the other foot. So this is me, move your foot like this.
Right.
And then on the other side, the other person is. So what that does is it cheats them out.
Ah, right.
Because otherwise they're standing there looking at each other, gazing at each other, and you just see their profile. You can't really see their faces and the emotion.
Right.
And everybody in the congregation wants to see their emotion. They want to see their faces at that moment when they say I do.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't tell a smile by the side.
No. And you know, I was at some weddings where all you ever saw were the backs of their heads, and it's like, well, that's kind of boring for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
terrible.
know this is about them, but
right, yeah. How was the wedding?
I'm
It
here.
sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot on their shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have them cheat out so that their friends and family can watch their faces and the emotion as they're saying their vows. And I'd have to tell them, I know it feels weird. I know it feels weird, but believe me, it looks awesome out there.
Right.
And they were always thrilled with their photos and, you know, their moms and dads and the aunts and uncles and family members were like, oh, it was great. I watched, you know, you had a tear. Yeah. So, yeah,
Making
cheating
memories.
out. Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, take a quick break. I got some news for you here. I told you guys about this on, I believe it would have been Monday. Yeah, I believe it would have been Monday. But Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley, Youth Helping Youth, 29 Fox Valley high schoolers came together to award $25,000 in grants for youth causes through the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley's YEP program, Youth Engagement and Philanthropy. That's really good stuff. Now, we interviewed a couple of young people in this program, and it was really cool hearing them talk about, well, we're young, so we want to give back to people who are doing the work.
Wow.
Yep. Because sometimes you see, and I guess that's just a political thing, since I interview politicians, you know, you see, we're having a youth council. Everybody's like retired. You know, it's like,
yeah.
What do the youth
What do they
need?
know about it?
Well, first of all, they need to have, you know,
they need to be represented.
Yeah, Bill Sanuski, you should resign. Boris Johnson resigned.
Did he?
In breaking world news, yeah.
Wow.
Boris Johnson resigned. I'll get back to YEP, but you guys, you guys know that Curtis loves international politics and stuff. Yes, Boris Johnson resigned, UK Prime Minister. Anyway,
that is crazy.
it is crazy. His position was untenable, though.
Yeah. Well, but how many times have we seen that?
This is a great episode. All right, time is 8:33. Focus, Curtis. Focus. All right, listen. So here it is. Here are the organizations that the YEP program distributed the money to as grants. CASA Kane County, which advocates for the best interests of children in abuse, neglect, and private guardianship cases within Kane County's juvenile court system. YEP's grant will fund gift cards, suitcases, and other incidentals for youth in need. The Conservation Foundation, Naperville, non-for-profit organization dedicated to preserving and restoring open space, protecting rivers and watersheds with a focus in DuPage, Kane, Kendall, and Will counties. YEP dollars will help fund a new pollinator garden.
That's cool.
At Dixon Merced Farm. Pollinator garden. Equine Dreams in Newark, which I just learned was a town in Illinois on Monday. Didn't know that.
Well, it's out there.
You know what?
71 and
yeah, I went
that way.
I googled it, Wikipedia. Whoa. It was out there. Let's see here. The Equine Dreams provides equine-assisted activities at no charge to children and adults with special needs. YEP funds will go toward construction of a new circular training horse pen. That is valuable for people who deal with horses. The infrastructure required for keeping horses is expensive.
Really expensive.
Ladies and gentlemen, so when and that's when, you know, I've done more and gone great places. I've been to some county fairs and see people with the horses and all that. Let me tell you, for that little 30-minute ride around with the ponies and all that, that is expensive. Expensive. Hesed House in Aurora, the second largest homeless shelter in the state of Illinois, which I did not know, and the largest shelter outside the city of Chicago. YEP funds will support the shelter's Move Out Assistance Program. Marquee Youth Stage in St. Charles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're no Riverfront Playhouse, but they do all right. Broadening the reach and impact of theater so that students of all abilities, ethnicities, skills, and economic backgrounds may benefit. The YEP grant will help fund opportunities for teens through Marquee's Project Reach Leadership and Arts program.
That's awesome. See, and then they can come down to the Riverfront and audition for
That's
things.
right.
Yeah.
Tri-City Family Services in Geneva, which strengthens the mental health of Fox Valley communities by providing quality mental health services that are accessible and affordable. Something we talked about on this show forever. You can have the best services in the world, but if people can't access them and they're not available to them, that's doing them no good. The YEP grant will support Tri-City's family-based treatment for eating disorders program. And last but not least, YMCA to support the Safe and Sound Aurora campaign, which helps working parents by offering their children care before and after school in spaces where kids are safe and have fun.
That is awesome. That's amazing.
Shout out to the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley. The time is 8:36 a.m. Okay, Norma Peterson's here. Have a great day, Gams fam. Well, thank you very much, Norma. We appreciate that. Cheryl Brownell is here. Good morning to you. Mary Foppel DeKing, good morning as well. And Tom Hebert is here. Good morning to you, Tom. Tracy Duran is here. And Michael Rayford says everyone should take a shot at acting.
They should.
Really?
Yeah, why not? What have you got to lose?
True.
It's, it's as exciting and invigorating and thrilling and daring as race car driving, but you won't die. There's like no chance of dying.
Right. That's awesome.
At least on our stage.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you might flop.
Yeah, unless it's written in the script,
Yeah, right.
All right, now murder him. So everyone should take a shot at acting. What's the first role you ever played?
Ever. I played the mother in my third grade play.
Okay, that was the Ebenezer Scrooge. That was Ebenezer Scrooge.
No. This was like when I was a little kid, third grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I played the mother in a Thanksgiving play.
Wow.
On my birthday, it was really nice, exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that still something that the family brings up?
No.
No. Sherry, I knew you were always going to be.
No. You know how
actress.
they knew? Because the home movie is 8mm.
Yes.
I somehow or another, always made sure that I was on camera doing wacky things.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
So it was no surprise to any of my family members that I would still be doing this so many years later.
So now let's talk about great productions and things that we've seen. Get your opinion on them. Do you have a favorite director? Or are there directors whose work that you're like, wow, this is, I can tell a Hughes flick, or
well, I enjoy Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino like everybody else.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't watch it much. I don't watch television. I don't go to many movies right now.
Okay. Why not?
Because, well, between work and then I also sing and play in a couple of bands.
You do?
I do, yeah. So
is there any more secrets that you sing and play in bands? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the bands? What's the
I have a trio called Barrel House Blend and a duo called The Heels and another duo called Forever Young. Yeah. So The Heels
Forever Young is I love that song.
Yeah. So the Heels and Barrel House Blend trio is with my bestie Kathleen Dooley, and she and I met at the Riverfront Playhouse. Her first play was one called Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
And she and I played actually love interests in this murder mystery.
Very cool.
Yeah,
All right.
The name of the play was Fatal Attraction, but it was more like the movie Basic Instinct.
Yeah. With Sharon Stone, right?
Right. Yeah. So I was the wicked one with the knife.
Oh gosh.
And I got to kill my real husband.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
and actually I met my husband there too at the Riverfront. We've had 16 marriages out of the Riverfront Playhouse.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
16 marriages?
Yeah, and I
In
think
that
only 2
place?
of them ended in divorce. So we're better than the national average.
Yeah, seriously. Wow, you guys,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, right?
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Forget Match. No, okay, Cupid.
All the brothers watching, like, you know what? I'm going to propose right in front of the mirror, get some of that good vibe.
My husband and I were actually the first people to get married at the Paramount.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
great distinction.
It was a lot of fun. I thought, well, we met at a theater. Why don't we get married?
The
at a theater?
first people to get married at
Yeah.
the Pear House.
So, and that was way back when the Paramount wasn't doing. I mean, they were trying to find themselves. How do we, what do we put on our stage? How do we reinvigorate this theater and get people to come back down?
Right.
And they sure don't have that problem now.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yep. We've been blessed to interview some great people with Paramount. Jim Jarvis with Paramount. Joel, friend is a friend. Great people.
Yeah.
Great people. Yeah.
Very passionate.
And-
You'll find a lot of really passionate people in the arts. I mean, you have to be, because where else do you go that, you do this thing that you love, this craft, and not get paid for
Yeah.
many of us. You don't see carpenters walking around going, "Hey, got anything I can hammer?"
Right.
No, you don't need to pay me. I just love to hammer.
Right.
Only in the arts.
Mm-hmm.
We do it because we have to, whether it's, painting something or acting or singing or dancing or whatever. It's just a compulsion almost.
Is there a role that you would love to play, or a character that you've ever looked at and you're like, you know what, I would
kill to do that.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate that I've had that opportunity many times at the Riverfront. I got to play Maggie the Cat and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. I shows that Veronica's Room, that was a really intense Veronica's Room. Yeah.
Tell me about that. I love that title.
Yeah, it was very suspenseful and lots of plot twists and turns. I got to play 2 different characters within it, part of the plot twists and turns. But yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Veronica's Room.
Veronica's Room.
All right. The time is now 8:42 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. Favorite actors or actresses? Who's
Well,
top
Meryl
notch?
Streep is top
Meryl
notch.
Streep. Okay.
She is. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep. Yeah, she's a fantastic. She is the. These would be my words, not yours. Her counterpart is Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I would say her
I could see
counterpart is
that.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Presence, delivery, everything.
Scope.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Scope.
Yeah.
I thought that Road to Perdition. I don't know if you saw that Tom Hanks movie.
Mm-hmm.
He plays it's the Prohibition era. Not what we're used to with Tom Hanks.
Right.
He's got a Tommy gun. He's shooting people and all this, but because I just watched it again recently. But at the end of watching it, it's believable with Tom Hanks as opposed to Tom Hanks played a character and it was not him, right? I didn't get that feeling.
Yeah. That is the ultimate, is that people can forget who it is that they're watching because they're watching that character.
Right. Okay. Now you said that get the dates here. August 5th through the 7th is the director's workshop.
Right.
What else is coming up on the calendar of events for you guys?
So I mentioned Between Riverside and Crazy. That show has not been cast yet, except for the two roles. So we'll have auditions for that too coming up. And that play opens the weekend after Labor Day. And then after that, in November, we will perform 12 Angry Men. So that is an old chestnut. And, for a while, everybody was doing that show, which fortunately,
Old Chestnut?
Yeah, an oldie but a goodie.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the show.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was a saying.
Yeah.
That's an old chestnut.
Yeah.
Very rare that they go over my head. That was a good one. It's an old chestnut. I'm going to use that.
Hey, did you know that if you look at the other person's elbow when you high five, you'll never miss?
Yes. Yeah, I learned that in high school. Yep, exactly.
I did too.
Yep.
Learned
it
it
in high school.
Well,
Yep.
not in high school.
Very
'Cause
cool.
We weren't high fiving in high school. We were going groovy, man. That's rad.
12 Angry Men.
Yes, 12 Angry Men. And then after that, in December, of course, will be Christmas Carol. And with the Christmas Carol, we have many of the actors come back and do the same role over and over again. And some of them we cast new and fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's children in that one, there's adults. We really streamed that one down because of COVID. You know, typically we would have 18 or 19 people in the show.
Right.
So I think we did it with 10, which is a lot of double casting, a lot of, yeah.
Now you guys were in the Beacon, as you have been, I'm sure, for many times, but there was a recent article a couple months ago, I think, detailing how some of the young blood involved in the theater. I can't think of the exact headline, but it was basically shouting out some of the new stuff or the new blood involved with the theater, and highlighting the shows and what's going on in there. Is it open to the public?
It is, yeah.
Okay, when are the hours? What's the hours of operation? Because every time I've ever passed by
everybody's
there,
like, is this place even open? I never see it open. So we're only open on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay.
That's it. So each of our plays typically runs 6 weeks. The Riverside and Crazy will only be 5 weeks, and 12 Angry Men will only be 4 weeks. Christmas Carol, again, is just 2 weekends, the 2 weekends before Christmas.
Okay.
But typically we run 6 weekends. We only rehearse 3 weeks. We've had some shows that only rehearsed 2 weeks, which is not a long time to learn an entire play, get the setup.
Yeah, rehearsing in only 2 weeks. Wow.
Yeah. I feel like we've been the most prolific theater in the Fox Valley area, just for how quickly we can put a show up and how long we run. A lot of theaters will rehearse for 2 months and run the show for 2 weekends. And we think that's a horrible waste of time.
Yeah.
We rehearse for 2 or 3 weeks and then get that puppy up there and run for 6 weekends.
That's right.
You got to learn the lines and learn the blocking, and then there's a really interesting thing that happens, the chemistry between an audience and the actors on the stage, and which is what I love about live theater, especially in a theater like the Riverfront. There's only 10 rows of seats at the Riverfront,
right.
10 rows. So it's a very intimate theater, and as an actor on stage, you're feeling the audience. If it's something that's funny, you feel their laughter. If it's something that is sad and moving, you feel like you can hear the sniffles as they're wiping their tears. You feel them on the edge of the seat when it's a thriller. Like, you feel every emotion that audience is feeling. And if it's a Friday night and they're there after work and they're all tired and they're just not giving, it's so hard as an actor, because you're not feeling any energy off of them,
right.
And you're thinking, oh God, they hate it. They hate it. Do they hate it? Is anybody out there laughing? Can you see anything? Because you're not supposed to look out into the audience.
Right.
But peripherally you kind of catch things, or if you're not the focus and you're in the background, you can kind of sneak a peek out there. Yeah. But the Friday night crowds are sometimes tough. But afterwards, they'll tell you, oh, I loved it. I loved this part. This made me laugh. And I'm thinking, really? It made you laugh? Because I didn't hear anything.
Right.
But
Right.
Friday after work, you're like, just wiped out sometimes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you're not enjoying it. So, yeah, but those are the challenges and the thrills and the rewards.
Time is 8:49 a.m. What do you like most about what you do? Because I've been doing this for a while, and when people when that topic or whatever it is comes up, when people light up when they're talking about something, I can see that you light up in many areas when discussing this. Although you are naturally vibrant, what do you like most?
I love that connection.
What you're doing and what you're involved. Okay.
I love the connection, whether it's I love the connection with my fellow actors on stage. As a director, I love sitting and watching them have those aha moments. You can almost see the light bulb go off over their heads when they finally go, oh, yeah, this is how I'm supposed to say it. This is how it's supposed to feel. This is, when they're feeling the energy off that audience. Right. I totally thrive off of that energy off the audience. Okay. Whether I'm acting or singing, performing with the bands. even when I'm doing the weddings, which is why I want the congregation, the audience to see the bride and groom, like those, that connection, to feel that energy. And it's palpable. I mean, for you don't get to feel it because everything that you're doing here is very flat. You get to hear it, when people are sending messages and that, and I think that's awesome. And I'm really glad that your audience connects with you that way. But there's an energy. Yep, it is. Yeah. When you're in front of a live audience.
There totally is. Yeah. There really is.
And I've done film and I've done commercials, and it's fun because you can take like 500 takes. Right. Oh, you don't try it this way. Okay, we'll try it this way. We'll try it that way. Exactly, right. Yeah. But when you're in front of an audience, you've got one shot that night to nail it. And some of the most fun and rewarding and interesting nights have been the nights when things have gone wrong, and the audiences love that. Oh, they'll come up and say, "Oh, I was here the night that you lost your voice, and you had to have a mic, and this happened and that happened." Like, they remember every detail because it was unique, and they knew that they were seeing a night of theater that will never be replicated, that nobody else will ever see.
Right.
And there's an intimacy and a connection that they have now with me and everybody else who was there that night, because that was a singular experience.
I've only been told memories like that. My parents and stuff like that go out to theater or jazz shows and stuff like that, and it's the same.
This guy came up onto the audience, and he and he played with a couple of songs, and we were there for that night. Yeah.
I guess Anita Baker whipped her hair in the direction of my dad looking, and he tells that story to Anita Baker looked right at me, and okay.
That's
while playing
awesome.
The piano.
It can happen.
It could happen. Sure. Exactly.
And I'm sure it happened exactly the way you said.
Exactly. The time is 8:52. Let me see here. Michael Rafer, can you please mention the other event, Millionaire Mindset for Women? Michael, that's a little bit cumbersome for me to do right now and go on emails and stuff like that. Maria has the day off, but I will do it tomorrow. I will write it for my notes in front of me tomorrow morning, Mr. Rayford. Nancy Ochoa Arch, good morning to you. Favorite movies? We'll do that on the way out, Ben. We could do that just for you. Fabiola, good morning. I think we need a GAMS get together at the Riverfront Playhouse for a show. I think we do too. Tracy Duran, that's a fantastic idea. Tracy Hodges says, yes, remember the live audience when I was there? We talked all about it. That's awesome. Curtis nails it daily. I try, my brother. I do try. Susan Dale, good morning. Okay, the time is 8:53 a.m. So before we go, because you will get the last word and set the tone.
I get the last word?
You get the last word, and you set the tone for the audience. Before we go, favorite movies.
Favorite movies.
A few favorites.
Princess Bride.
Oh, yes. That is
right? That's a movie for everybody.
For everybody.
God,
I love that movie.
And just such a
Columbo,
classic.
my man, Peter Falk.
Right? Everybody was just outrageously perfectly cast.
They were. Yeah. Andre the Giant, rest in peace.
Yep.
That movie has stayed with me a long time because I'm old enough to remember when Andre the Giant was just a wrestler, and then that was the first when I was a kid. Scope, right?
Wait a minute.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Carrie Elways, fantastic casting in that movie. What else? Any other ones? Was that your favorite movie?
That is my favorite movie.
Okay, that's a great favorite.
I love The Shining.
I like that movie too. That's a good movie.
It's so intense.
It is.
Yeah. And it's horribly dated now, but American Werewolf in London was also one of my favorites. I loved horror movies, but it did not hold up well.
American Werewolf in London.
Was
that wasn't Brad Pitt?
No.
That was Interview with a Vampire, right? Okay,
that's right. It's way back. When you watch the CGI, the special effects is just so horrible. Right. But at the time, it was so new and unique. Like
Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
You're wow, how are they breathing in space?
I saw Star Wars 7 times in the movie theater. You know, because it was the movie to see, and if you went out on a date and like, let's go see Star Wars, okay.
Right.
But
Like, have you ever seen this movie? No, I haven't.
No,
Yeah.
well, let's go see it.
Yeah. How do you know Obi-Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi, girl? Okay, The Princess Bride is awesome. Yes, it is. The time is 8:55 a.m. The show ends on a positive note.
Awesome.
So before we get to that, I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you,
This
Curtis.
was a extremely rewarding episode, interview, and talk.
Excellent. Thank you.
I really feel like I accomplished a lot talking to you today because it's not been lost on me that place is a gem.
It
And
really
I've taken
is.
too many pictures. I've been looking to like, what in the
Yeah.
world? I'm so glad to have made the connection
so come
today.
to the riverfrontplayhouse.com. That'll give you, what's coming up, when it is. You can buy tickets online.
Okay.
And we even offer $2 off coupons. So, it's the best $15 you can spend for an evening.
Riverfrontplayhouse.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The show ends on a positive note. What is your message today for the people of Aurora?
Connect. It's all about connections, whether you're on stage in front of an audience or you're just one-on-one on the street. A simple connection is just a smile, and say good morning, hello. And if we all would just connect, kindness costs you nothing.
That's right.
And it could be something as simple as, holding a door open or just that smile. It might be the only smile that somebody gets that day.
True. That's right. Yeah, because for a lot of people, it is that, and it could set their tone too.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
could set their tone too. I rode the train many years. In the morning time, people are so nasty, right?
I know,
so,
they're just focused on what's coming up. I lived in the city for a while in my 20s, and I walking down the street, I'd be smiling, saying hello to everybody, and they're like, "Oh, you're not from around here, are you?"
Right.
Like, why? Just because I say hello?
Right.
Yeah.
Connect. A great message for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you guys have a great rest of the day. We hope that you enjoyed this conversation. Riverfrontplayhouse.com is where you need to go to for tickets. Please do so and support Riverfront Playhouse. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself and each other.